a few of them are measured, or as we say, gauged. If we have data on when flooding is occurring or might occur, we can get crews out there to look at the bridge to make sure that the bridge and the associated roadway are still safe. If we can start collecting data on all rivers above a certain size remotely from satellites, it really opens up the amount of rivers that we can help understand what happens when they flood or how they flood. And that really improves our ability to manage our infrastructure and to design new infrastructure. That is where SWOT will really make a big difference.
One of the partners we're working with is the Department of Defense, and they're trying to fill gaps in the data that they have along the coastlines. Our military is obviously very concerned about what's happening on global scales, and they have installations across the globe. So SWOT will potentially provide an opportunity to fill in some of those gaps, allow them to make the impact assessments that they need for sea level rise in their facilities. So trying to understand and give them the information they need to plan for and then potentially adapt to these changes is really critically important.
Coastal wetlands like the Mississippi River Delta are extremely important because it acts as a buffer between us and the threatening ocean. With SWOT, because of its high spatial resolution, we'll be able to resolve water surface elevation right at the coast. So this is quite important because as sea level rises, the ocean will migrate into the land, bringing more salt into the land. So it threatens the infrastructure, the biodiversity in the wetlands along the coast. Hopefully, the types of models that we're producing can support how they decide to manage the river delta. And SWOT on its own will allow us to upscale these types of studies to the world.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the new information we'll get from SWOT and how we can start to couple it to some of the needs that we see, both at the coastal interface and also on land. I think we can potentially see some immediate impact once SWOT's launched in these communities.